Take a sip, let it flow, watch your business grow. CRM made simple, that's the goal. Unfiltered tips for your control.
Welcome to the very first episode of CRM Cafe's new podcast-style series, Unfiltered. This is designed to spotlight CRM best practices, share quick tips, and hear directly from people who use CRM every day. Whether you're in sales, support, or operations, CRM Cafe Unfiltered is here to help us become more collaborative across all teams. For those of you who don't know, I'm Sean, and today I'm pumped to welcome into the cafe our very first guest. You know him from the Orders Billings team. Let's give a warm welcome to Kenn Knisley. So, Kenn, thank you for joining us today. Let's just start off with the basics. So just tell me what your role is like and kind of what Orders Billings does as it relates to CRM and how we collaborate with sales.
Yeah, well, that's a big question. We do a lot through CRM with our sales team. Of course, you know, we're the recipients of all of the opportunities and quotes. You know, we're receiving those, we're reviewing them, making sure they look correct. Once that happens, of course, we pend it out. And we make sure everything's pended out for the length of whether that's a contract or whether it's the full fiscal year. And then, of course, on the back end of that, we're also processing the invoices straight out of CRM. So we are literally in CRM from the front end to the back end for every cohort.
Yeah, it makes sense. You guys are a very integral part of everything, and working together is very important. I know that. So my goal here is to really do the collaboration piece and really come together. So when you look at when a quote comes in from sales, what's the first thing you look at just to make sure you have what you need?
Well, the first thing I look at is, are the installments generated? That's the first thing I look at. 99% of the time they are. Really what we do is, especially if they're complete, we take that contract on one screen, we take that quote in the other, and we just go down that and make sure everything's there. I mean, we're checking to make sure cohorts are there. We're checking to make sure products are correct. Does the price list match? Is the price right?
Yeah.
Right. And then for clients that aren't complete, you know, we're looking at, okay, they're optimal. This is the price they're supposed to pay. Do they have all the products? Do they have all their payments listed? Do they have the dates correct? What's the past told us about that client? There's a little bit more intricacy in the non-completes because they don't have a contract for us to just look at. But, you know, we try and go through every detail of what that installment and report is going to look like for the length of that entire cohort, not just for this month, but every payment for that cohort over the life of that cohort. So it's usually years in advance.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. So what helps you guys move quotes through to the opportunities quickly and just more efficiently from a sales standpoint? What can we do better?
Yeah, I mean, on the sales side, you know, to be honest, there's nothing that giantly stands out because it's a lot of the time it's those little details that just get lost in the motions of clicking through a million things. Right, because we know when you're putting a quote in, there's like 17,000 clicks, and just taking your time to make sure that you don't miss a box or don't fat finger a number, or oops, I forgot to put this cohort on. You know, checking those kinds of things, or making sure that there's not already an existing cohort. Or it's the little things that really add up to the time. There's not one big giant.
Sure.
God, we really need to all focus on this.
Yeah. So of those, is there any common issues that you see that, I know you said there's no big things, but is there anything common that you see that?
Common? Yeah. Not generating their installments.
Okay.
which, you know, that's again, it's just one of those clicks that if you don't do it, it's just not there.
Sure.
And depending what we predict our finances on, what Mandeep and everybody on that finance is looking at is those pendings. So if it's not on that order, if it's not in that quote, it doesn't become a pending. And that's what those guys are looking for. And that's why, you know, when you guys are doing that, that's why we send them back,
Yeah.
because, hey, we're not the only ones looking at this. This goes all the way to
Sure.
me. And so we need to make sure these are all correct. It's perfect? No, but we're all
Yeah.
human.
Yeah,
So
we're trying to get there, right?
that's,
So we talk about the things that are not wrong, but that you see that are missing. What are some things that we do good that, you really say, hey, for new people, focus on this. Like you guys do a really good job at what?
yeah. There's a lot of good things that have come along. I mean, they do a great job, genuinely, of providing detail in their information that they're trying to give us. Does that mean that every time it's there? No. But those opportunity notes, they come over, and especially for some people, those are immensely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't appreciate the individuals that really invest in putting those notes together for us. When we get those are phenomenal, and they just make it 1,000 times easier.
Yeah. So more is better. There's
Yep.
never too much information, right?
No, not at all.
Right. Cool. So best practices. Actually, I'm sorry, automation. We'll talk about that first. Can you share some examples where some enhancements that we've done have really helped your team from a standpoint of, getting things done better and more efficiently, and just, not as many mistakes?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know that this is an automation thing, but it has made a massive difference.
Hmm.
The CSS role.
Oh,
And
okay.
the individuals who are doing those quotes are
Sure.
less likely to make mistakes than the sales team themselves.
Sure.
And that's not a knock on the sales team by any means.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that these guys have become hyper focused on making
Yep.
sure that I know what needs to get done so that it's not getting sent back
Yeah.
5 times, right?
Yep.
I have seen a remarkable difference between before, like Mallory started in the West,
Mm-hmm.
and after Mallory took over in the West. That doesn't mean that the other ones aren't doing a great job. I don't want to say that. I'm just using her as an example. I can tell you right now the difference is dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to the fact that she is hyper focused on it. She is doing training. She asks lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And their role is just so expansive. They don't have time to ask all these questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I get that,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't blame it on the sales team whatsoever. It's
Yeah.
just when you're trying to travel 2 hours every few days, and then you've got clients breathing down your neck for things, that is really what. Now, as far as the automation go, I do believe that we've done a great job of internally kind of creating that pathway as you're creating these quotes. Canvas,
Yeah.
as much as it might cause a headache for you here and there, the flow of that has been helpful because it creates an atmosphere where it's less likely to have an error.
Yeah.
It can still happen because we're, like I said before, we're just human, but
Yeah.
being able to do that. So those are the two big things most recently that have really made a difference. And I would encourage all the salespeople to utilize that resource of their CSS. And I know
Yeah.
sometimes it slows down the process because you can click fast through a quote,
Sure.
but they're more likely to get it correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and once they get used to it, I think they'll be willing and they'll be better off passing that on. Then they can do other selling activities and not doing the administrative stuff. And I think that was the whole reason behind it.
yep.
And I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I want to toot the horn of ATI as a whole, bringing on a role like me to help that as well. Because I think you would agree, like them not coming to you anymore, especially now that I'm comfortable with answering all their questions, that
Yes.
helps everybody, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
really does. And I mean, I'll toot your horn. You've done a phenomenal job of getting these guys on board and helping them understand. And genuinely, even when you don't know something, I don't feel like it's a constant flow of questions for us.
Yeah.
Like it's, hey, we don't know how to do this. Well, yeah, let me take 30 minutes and connect with you over the phone and do it, because I know I'm not going to do it 17 more times because 17 other people have the same question. I get the answer to you. I don't worry about it again.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. So, on that note, are there any upcoming tools that you know about that we're excited for, or enhancements that we're going to do? I know that I've seen some stuff coming with headcount. Can you just talk about some stuff like that that's coming down the way?
Well, there's so many that are coming, and that's probably that's great.
Yeah.
But it does make it, you got to, okay, which one is which? Where's that going to affect? I mean, I think the continual, it's really less about one individual improvement and the concept that we're never going to stop trying to improve. That's the big thing for us.
Sure.
Like especially Veronica and I, as we manage these teams, our focus has always been how do we improve the process? And even though we've improved the process, we're still looking for that. And I think the same goes for all of the CRM stuff. Like, with quotes and with ops, like how do we improve that process and never stop looking to improve it? So I always encourage people, especially on my team, if you've got an idea, share it, because you don't know what change that might affect.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes for sales. Like if you guys see something and you think this would be a great improvement, say it.
I would actually be interested to see if it would be worth you and I and Veronica getting together. So I'm doing these roundtables with the reps, and I'm getting their perspective on what would be best for them in CRM, what they need, what would make their lives easier. I think it would be great for us to connect and have that same quick conversation, because I know you guys have enhancements that you want done and you don't have somebody like me to go to. You guys just go directly to Kiana, right?
Yeah, we do.
But I think at least we could be a little more collaborative and discuss the things. That way you guys know what I have on my roadmap and I know what you guys are looking at. So maybe we can come together and get them done a little quicker. So I'll reach out to you guys and see if we can't set up some time to do that. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. Best practices. Are there any, and you've already said this really, it's, and we'll just belabor it. You can't say it enough, right? It's the installments. It's creating your, what?
Generate those installments.
Generated installments. We'll beat that dead horse as much as we can.
Yeah.
That's you've nailed those. Is there any way within communication that could be better between sales and your team?
That's a tricky question. We've really tried to streamline a lot of things for how we communicate with our sales team, and I encourage my team, hey, pick up the phone if something's going on, right? Talk to them. And I think that's a big thing. We want to communicate a lot through our emails because that's convenient. It's on our time. But not everything communicates through email as efficiently as it does through a phone call. And so I always encourage my team, hey, if you send an email and they don't understand, pick the phone up, call, explain it over the phone. And I would say the reverse to your team. Now, we're trying to process orders. We're busy, but so are the sales team members.
Yeah.
Maybe we can't talk right at that moment, but maybe we set up a time to talk or, things like that. So I encourage like my sales team, hey, if you want time with me, the best thing you can do is schedule it on my calendar.
Yeah.
And I would encourage all the sales team members to, try and seek out ways to do stuff like that. Hey, I have a question. Is this something that I should talk to you on the phone with? Can we do an email? Whatever it may be, please feel free. And I'll give this big piece of feedback, and you can put it in the podcast or not. But I don't know how many times I've read a contract and been like, if I'd have seen this before it went to the client, I could have fixed that, and it wouldn't be an issue today. And that's just a personal opinion there.
I mean,
how many times I've looked at a contract and said, we need an amendment to fix this. And if I'd have seen it before it went to the client, this would be an issue because I'd have told you right then, hey, fix this, or this needs fixed. And I know where we're going to try and move towards where we're doing more and more contracts. And it's going to become more and more vital that those are correct, because at the end of the day, the pendings are based on what's on that contract.
For sure.
Wrong. That means the financials are wrong. If the financials are wrong, you're not going to get your commission the way you want it.
And the client's going to be mad, and you're probably going to have to redo it all again.
Well, and you have to go back to the client and say, we messed this up, and that never works.
No, it doesn't. And so for the new people out there, you were talking about reaching out directly, and this is for my own information too, but for the newer people, do they have direct contact orders and billings people that work with each region that they would reach out to, or how does that work?
They do. So it depends on what type of account manager or SAM you are, right? So
Okay.
we have our account managers, and then every region has a couple of people who handle all of the non-complete accounts. And you're always more than welcome to reach out to them if you got questions or anything like that. Now, obviously, when it comes to quoting, I'm always going to have them go to Sean. Have them go to Sean.
Yep, yep.
uh, but there's still a lot of things that are part of the realm that we work with that it's just nice to talk to someone here. Yes, so every account manager or SAM would have at least two contacts that they could reach out here to on our team. Of course, Veronica and I are always
Sure,
available.
sure.
Those. So yes, there's definitely a narrow down, especially for those new individuals.
Yeah.
And to be fair, now this is just a personal opinion here again, but our team tends to know who to contact on all these
Hmm.
different teams when you have certain issues.
Yeah.
Uh, and so we are a great resource for that as well.
Cool, cool. And I would imagine the new people would get that part in their training when they're onboarded as well. So I would direct them to Crystal Webb whenever they're doing the onboarding, or even their manager. I think they would help a lot with telling
Mhm.
them who they would need to go to. So Ken, this has been amazing. Thank you for joining me. And it's really easy to forget how much CRM impacts our business, not just, the day to day that the reps have to deal with, but how, like you said, it really goes to the financials and, man deep in them, they see this and it's important to get right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you doing this. And hopefully this goes a long way to them feeling more comfortable and then understanding a little bit more what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, all I can say is I appreciate all the work that everyone who's not on my team, sales, you work with, those CSSs. I know it's a lot of work, and I appreciate every time you work on that. Every time we do appreciate all the work you guys.
All right, perfect. So just for everybody's notification, on September 24th, we'll have Andy Holton in here, and we'll be talking about all things sales ops, pipeline, and forecasting. So again, Ken, thanks so much for the time, and have a great weekend. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Have a great one.
I can't thank Ken enough for joining us and sharing his insights. Just remember, regardless of your role, when you're working in CRM, take a moment to think about how your data flows downstream and how small changes can make big impacts. We'll see you next time, live from the CRM Cafe, where we're brewing solutions so you can focus on stronger customer relationships. See you guys.
Take a sip, let it